What's good? I'm Mike Leisure. I'm an artist and I'm an art director. Today we're going to be going over how to style clothing for e-commerce photography. What we want to be able to show you is that you can take your e-commerce photography from this to this. Not only will this elevate the aesthetic of your brand, but the attention to detail will actually make your brand look more trustworthy and credible. All right, the first thing you're going to do is pick your references. What I mean by that is you're gonna go to your favorite websites, your favorite brands, and you're gonna look at the ones you think they did well, and we're gonna be using those as reference points. For each piece of clothing that you're gonna be doing, you need one reference. Things to note though is that sometimes materials can be different. So if you're styling a t-shirt, it's usually about the same, but let's say you're doing a different type of jacket or a different type of hoodie. Materials can make the styling a little bit more difficult or easier on certain garments. Sometimes it helps you to have a different reference just in case the first one you picked didn't work out and you just don't want to be on set or spending your time trying to fix and workshop things that just don't work. You're going to want to have a backup because you got to be prepared for these things. All right, so you've picked your references probably intuitively just by going off the vibes. I like this, I like that. But now the part that's really important is studying why we like these aesthetics. Is it perfect and clean? Is the silhouette super straight and everything? There's no wrinkles? Or is it kind of this natural look with a little bit of waviness to it? As you start looking at the other references that you've picked, where are the folds? How are the arms? Are they close to the body? Are they far from the body? How slim did they make the body? Are they folding in or not folding in? Are they showing the full boxiness of a shirt or a jacket? And then same thing for the pants. How wide are the legs coming out? How close are they? The gap in between. Another thing to look for is how puffy is the hood? Is the hood folded? Is it stylized in a way where the garment actually looks expensive, or is it just meh and there? These things are the things that I'm looking for to help elevate the way your storefront looks and then how the garment feels when you're looking at it on the product page. Pleasures has a pretty casual looking style where everything's not like overdone and it's not like super straight on the sides. Like if you'll notice the wrinkles that are happening here and the less boxiness of it all, it just has a nice flow to it. But then at the same time, we have Supreme here just super open on all the shirts. There's no folds on the sides and it looks kind of more like what the actual garment is. And so if you look at the Supreme, then to the Pleasures kind of look, which is kind of in between, and then we have the stamped look here, which looks super clean and almost perfect looking. Here are the references that I picked. These are the styles I usually go for when I'm styling flats because I just really like how simple it is, but also how it brings out the look of the garments. And then on top of that, how it looks in the entire storefront. I just feel like it has an elegant and light feel to it as opposed to being too raw, but also not too overdone and over edited. Stamped is actually one of my favorite brands to reference because everything they do is just so clean. It's minimal, it's just really nice looking, as you can see. Here I picked the zip-up jacket, which is kind of similar to a garment that I have here, although mine has buttons. I like how close the arms are and I like how the body is just sitting naturally. The t-shirt here, they did a nice fold where the arms are actually kind of close in. If you notice near the armpit area, it actually comes in and it's just super clean there. For bottoms, again, it can be very difficult to find the right ones. So I have these cargo pants here from Stamped. And then I also picked reference from feature.com because I think these also look pretty clean. And if you'll notice, the legs are a little bit further apart on the Stamped ones and then a little bit closer on the feature ones. So depending on the type of pant that we have and how many wrinkles we're getting or whatever the silhouette is like, we're going to move from one or the other. Then I have this Stone Island hoodie from feature.com as well. And I really like the way that the hoodie is done here. It's folded just slightly, got a little bit of poof to it. It's not really flat looking and I like that. The body is nice where it comes down. If you notice these folds here near the sides, which I think helps to keep the garment look really clean. The next part is everyone's favorite part, prepping your garments. Not really, but you gotta steam them, you gotta lint roll them, and depending on which part of production you're in, you may or may not have to take care of the garment tags. And the tag on the collar, right? You might have it from like Next Level blanks, or you might be using a Bella Canvas shirt, but you don't necessarily want your consumer to know that you're using that at the moment. So you're gonna wanna remove that tag before you shoot, because let's not fix it in post, y'all. And then the last thing is remove your hang tags and you're ready to shoot. The first thing you're gonna do is plop your shirt down, and I'm gonna do what I like to call the taper fold. Sometimes I call it the taco fold. The difference between the two is like the sides here. You look how it helps to slim down the shirt a little bit, and it makes the tees look a little bit more consistent in my opinion. So what I do to start this is I start from the shoulder down to the hem of the shirt, and then what you're gonna do is grab this and then just fold it under. Now, if you look at the fold here, this straight line that we're looking at straight from here to here is what we need to get it consistent and looking clean. After that, you're gonna pull out the arm very slowly from the bottom here. And then we're gonna repeat that on the other side. And make sure that you do your final garment checks, make sure that everything is centered and even. And if you're doing a long sleeve or you're doing anything else within this kind of weight, like a t-shirt, it's essentially the same thing. Long sleeves can be a little bit more difficult, but in the next example where we go over a jacket, it's a similar method. The difficulty on styling a jacket really depends on the desired arm distance from the body, and also depends on the material. I like mine super close, you know, give me that shy look. I think that the way you style the clothing makes it kind of feel like what it's like to have a body inside of it already. And so if you're styling it with the arms folded, I just think it looks a little meh. This one takes some working and folding, and sometimes you get lucky and it just goes. But if you work it too much, you'll just notice that it'll start to kind of fall apart and not feel as good. What we're gonna do is put this down, move the long sleeve closer to the hem, and then again, start from shoulder down to the hem, fold it under, and then look at this fold here. This is what we're looking for. And then repeat on the other side. And make sure that you do your final garment checks, make sure that everything is centered and even. Next is the hoodie. Very similar when we're dealing with the body and the arms. And what we're gonna do is put the hoodie down, start with the sleeves close to the body, start from shoulder down to the hem, from here to here. We're gonna fold under, look at the fold, look at the fold. Pull out the arm slowly, and then repeat on the other side. We're gonna do the checks, make sure the graphic and the body is centered and even, and then it's time for the fun part, folding the hood. And so what I like to do is use tissue paper for the hoodie and give it just that little bit of plumpness without looking overdone. If you're at home, you can use bags or paper that you have lying around. I just found some tissue paper in my closet, so I'm gonna go ahead and use that. And then once you're done there, make sure that everything is centered and even. On to the last garment we have is the pants. Now, pants can be super hit or miss depending on the silhouette. For today's pants, we're gonna try and keep the legs as close together as possible, but maybe about a 2 to 3 inch gap.
So a lot of the times when we're working on pants, we end up with these wrinkles or this section in the middle of the pants that gets really tricky and messy. And I'm just pulling up on the waistband and coming back to even out these sections.
Make sure that you do your final garment checks, make sure that everything is centered and even. And that's pretty much it. These are some of my favorite ways to style garments for e-commerce photography. If you have any other garments you want to style or have questions or comments, go ahead and leave them down there in the comment section below. This is Proper Worldwide. Keep it proper.
All right, yo, so we're actually out right now printing some hats. I'm out here with Mikey Connect, but I just want to say thank you to everyone who's watched to the end, and thank you specifically to the people who have been subscribed this entire time. For anyone who's new, this is Proper Worldwide, as you probably already know, but yeah, so we haven't posted for like 2 years. We've been working on our creative agency stuff, and now what we want to do is kind of come back, get back on the train and really start posting more. So we logged back on and realized there's so many comments. There's still so many entrepreneurs with an interest to learn and be creative. So we want to take the little things that we've learned throughout the year and kind of like put those into videos and be able to connect with everybody who is creating right now. We're gonna try this whole YouTube thing again. We're gonna start uploading. Thanks for rocking with us.